People are just walking in front of it like we're not recording.
It happens. People are people. None of it's intentional. Never attribute to malice what can be attributed to incompetence. It's far more likely that they're all in their own worlds, doing their own thing. They're not paying attention to the world around them. And we all do it every day, whether you're driving, walking down the street. All of our lives are just as complex as everybody else's. Everything you have going on, they have going on. Nobody knows what everybody else is going through. We also need to be a little more self-aware and aware of the world around us.
That was deep.
You gotta look deep to find the deep things. If all you ever do in your life is stay at the surface, you'll never find anything worth exploring.
Are you real?
I try to be.
Are you an AI?
No, not at all.
Is this guy insane? Are you bloody insane, bro? Oh my days. Oh my days, bro. What's your issue? What's wrong this morning? Are you all drugged up? Oh my days, this is going to be an interesting one. What is going on, internet friends? How you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing absolutely sensational. As per always, welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat, my weekly forum where we discuss the issues, things that might concern me, concern you, or anything in between. Because the truth of the matter is that I do not have all the answers, and neither do you. But together, through open-minded conversation, we can come up with a couple of soluciones. So you'll notice two things this morning, right? First of all, we're back in the whip. We're back in the whip. I agree with some of you who said the room doesn't hit the same. And it doesn't. It doesn't. I find a lot of peace in the car, and I find a lot of freedom being able to talk to myself in the car, because to everyone around me it looks like I'm on the phone or something. So yeah, I don't look like a crazy person talking to the phone. I'm talking to the camera. Second of all, you'll see that I have officially exited winter. No jersey, I'm done with winter, I'm over it. No long johns underneath here, just a vest, and that's it. I'm over it, I'm done with winter. So this week's an interesting week. A lot of situations have gone down, right? And I am by no means at all, right, qualified to give anyone emotional advice. Financial advice maybe, but as far as emotional advice, relationship advice, no. But we seek counsel as human beings. It's what we do. So I was speaking to some of my friends, and something just came. Thank you, Audi driver. You know what's up. You know what's up. Okay, unfortunately, so do I, apparently. We seek counsel, and it brought up a few things, right? A few thingamabobbies, a few whatchamacallits. And I was really thinking about where people get the audacity to be so arrogant and prideful. I think, if I'm honest, at least 80% of problems that are interpersonal can be chopped down to some degree to pride, right? I'm no saint either. I have a lot of pride in certain things. There are a lot of people and situations and things that could be resolved if I put my pride aside, and I try to put my pride aside, and I try and do what's right. But the difficulty is if the reciprocating person is prideful and will not simply acknowledge the things that they have done, are doing, then you're kind of hitting your head against a brick wall, and it's so frustrating. Do you know what I mean? I think a big thing that I've been thinking about heavily is, where does this pride come from? You know, one day one person is on the path of the straight and narrow and calm and selfless and, you know, kind-hearted, and then the next thing they become arrogant and selfish and prideful. You know, and I'm not saying we shouldn't know our worth. There's always going to be that debate between being prideful and arrogant and proud of yourself and like knowing your self-worth. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a person who knows themselves and what they're worth and what they bring to the table and will not accept bad behavior. I'm talking about the fundamental changing of a person's behaviors and the way that they conduct themselves and interact, and the complete disregard for the emotions of another person. I don't know if there's a word for that, and I probably should have done a little more research before shouting at a camera. But what blows my mind, especially in the world we live in, and certain people around me, and is like the complete blatant disregard for the emotional well-being of others, that thing of being like, I don't care, I'm gonna do me. And whether you get into a car crash or fall and hit your head, that's for you now, that's for you. I've done my job. And then they move. And a lot of the reason why I think, speaking through this Let's Chats, week on week, right, there are many themes and tones and ideas and concepts that find their way to the top, because this has been a way of me working through certain issues and things in my life, right? And every week I uncover more and more, which is, the human experience. You'll never uncover everything and figure it all out. But regardless, I realized that the trigger point of this Let's Chat, like the series, was the pride of people, and that shock to the system, right? Of me being like, this is not self-care, this is not knowing your worth, this is not, right, taking care of thyself. This is pride and arrogance, and pride and arrogance will hurt the people around you, unlike let me not say any other emotions or like characteristics, but those are big ones, If you're prideful and arrogant and you do not care about the emotions and feelings of others, you will cause a wildfire of pain, and you won't know it because you, in your mind, you've convinced yourself that that's just how the world works, right? You're the main character and we're all non-playable characters in it. And yeah, you can be the main character of your life, but just know that the other characters are very much active, right? There are co-stars, there are extras that you can kick out as and when, not in like a mean, rude way, but like, people aren't playthings. That's it. I think I've been trying to find the way of saying this for a while. People are not playthings. Actually, like low-key struck a chord for me. Certain people treat other people like absolute playthings. And when those people don't do what that person wants, they toss them to the side, or they get angry, or whatever. Another thing that pride does, it like absolves us of all blame. Right, you're completely absolved. I can do no wrong. I will never apologize truly for what I've done, because I can do no wrong. And even when I apologize, I'll find a way of turning the blame on you. Why were you standing there when I was steamrolling through? Why were you so affected by my words? It's your fault. There's so many examples I could give of this pride and arrogance doing bits, if I'm honest with you, doing an absolute number, And what would really, really irks me, right, is this lack of accountability that comes with this thing. No, I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm just doing me. Excuse-moi. What? There are ways of telling people things without coming off like an absolute douche, right? There are ways of saying things. Like, rather be forthcoming and honest with yourself, put your pride aside, right? And have a difficult conversation. a difficult conversation for friends or relationships or whatever it is, right? Is I don't see this friendship, relationship, whatever going any further. I think we're done. I do not have feelings for you like that anymore. Let's keep it kicking, right? A prideful person will hit the look. I'm really just trying to take care of myself right now, and I'd like to keep you around, but at the same time, not really. So I'll keep you around while keeping others around, but I'll pick and choose between you guys as and when I feel fit, which is the most arrogant, prideful thing you can actually do if you think about it. Like, Jesus, like thinking about it now in retrospect is like insane. You really do be like, is this? And again, in this context, these are people's situations that have changed over time. These are things that are like, what version of you is this now? This is the do you person. This is the do you version. Jesus, I want nothing to do with it, and I hope other people feel the same, because holy crap, you are a bad person. You are not a good oak. Like, you are not a lacquer person. And it sucks because you used to be. And the lack of accountability, I have to come back to it because it's like, it's mind-blowing. Maybe I'm the only one who's like shocked. And again, cue all the old people who say, yeah, well, that's growing up, people change, and that's how your friends be. Like, well, flip and again, I said it last time and I'll say it again. Maybe I just need to articulate it and say it out loud. That to me, that's insane, my boy. That's insane, my boy. We're all trying to evolve and grow and be better, and you have taken big regression steps. Like, I don't want to say I've been through the most in this life, because I haven't. I've been through what I've been through. So I understand the need to take care of yourself, your peace, your mental health, your self-worth. I do understand that, and there's a way of doing that. And in that, right, and I've said it on this channel before this Let's Chat, people always want you to take care of yourself and choose you until it affects them. And maybe I'm sensitive, and that's what's been going on in my life. Maybe that's my flaw, and I'm fully like ready to be okay with that. But, right, I do believe that there's a way in which that can be done. That's not like hellish. I mean, I've said no to people before, and they definitely have that, oh my goodness, you're saying no to me? You're saying no to me? And from that perspective, I do understand that it's like, if this is your doing you phase and you think that you're doing it the best that you can, then rock on, bro. If you think that this is conducive for you, then rock on. But at the same time, I've been the one giving out this treatment. I've been the selfish one. I've been the one who's flown too close to the sun and like has been arrogant and prideful, and I thought the world revolved around me, and you know, I was the main character and everyone was NPCs. Everyone didn't matter. Like, if it didn't fit in my criteria on my agenda, then to hell with it, right? And I lost a lot at that time, you know, and I've apologized to all the people who are hurt, but man, I was on a destructive path, and I'm grateful that it happened like in early, you know. I just came out of school. And I talk about this time in my life a lot, you know. Things were going well. I just started my little business. I was smashing it. I was Brand South Africa ambassador. I was ambassador for this. I was doing TV shows and radio and this and that, and you know, and I was the most important person in the world, you know, and I was just in my doing me phase. I was doing me. And gracious was I a bad person at that time, you know. I covered it all up by continuing doing all my charity work and the YouTube, and you know, looking after a few of my friends. But man, I was not a grand oak, and I attracted people in my life at that time who I thought I would go the distance with. But the truth is that that was unsustainable, and was bad, and it was just, yeah, crash and burn. And I think you need that crash and burn. And is it bad of me to want to wish those people to crash and burn? I need to be honest on this channel. Like, sometimes I look back, I'm like, I hope it's going bad for all of you. I hope you feel the effects of not having me in your life. And that's my pride and arrogance talking. I hope you feel, I don't know, am I the only one who has that sometimes, when people do you dirty and you just want to do so well and you want them to just do average, mediocre, not good. Like, I hope you feel the effects and see the difference it makes when I'm not there by your side, being your number one supporter, because that's what I am. And people often don't see that until it's gone, you know. I didn't see it either. I had people in my life who were my number one supporters who you know, I've mistreated and like didn't give a fair chance. And again, I feel like I've apologized to them more, than if I haven't, then I'll do it again. But at the same time, there are people who I know I was doing that for, and they did not appreciate, and they continue not to appreciate, and they might never appreciate. And I need to figure out a way of being okay with that, you know. I need to figure out a way of being fine with the fact that these people do not give a crap whether you are living or not living or whatever. I know that I'm replaceable. I've said it before and I'll say it again. And sometimes when it comes to prideful people, you just need to swallow the pill and say, you know what, with this person I know I'm extra replaceable, even though I feel like I have a big role to play. And there are prideful people who you'll never get an apology from, you'll never get acknowledgement from, you'll never get any form of real engagement from. And I don't know, old people say give it a few years and they'll come back, or they'll realize, or whatever. Well, I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath, and internet friends, I don't think either should you. But anyway, let me call it a day. Few key moments in there that I think I needed to hear myself say, and it sucks. If you're the prideful person in your life, try be aware of yourself. Try to think genuinely about the way you treat people, the way you engage with people, and you know, what energy you're bringing out, because there's a difference between being in your doing you era and just being an arrogant piece of poo who doesn't give a crap about the world around them. I'm the prize.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Remember to love life and all the people in it. We're living.